Hey guys, a big reason why I started the Real Appreciation podcast was not only for the pun, okay, maybe a little, but it was also as a way to be better. And speaking of being better, I have to thank today's sponsor, Dubby. Dubby is the perfect drink if you're looking for a great energy boost without the crash. You should check out Dubby, for real. It's a clean energy drink that keeps you focused and energized, and it doesn't have any of that junk like sugars or artificial dyes. Seriously, it's got nootropics, vitamins, no sugar, 0 calories, no artificial colors, and no maltodextrin. I've been using it and it's been a game changer for me. Plus, I've got a special deal for you guys. Use my promo code REAL10 to get 10% off your order. Just head over to Dubby's website, pick out your favorite flavors, and enter REAL10 at checkout for your discount. Seriously, give it a try and see the difference. Be better with Dubby. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Appreciation. I'm David Clair-Bennett, and with all the shows you could have picked to listen to, you chose to listen to this one. So as I say every week, thank you for choosing to be here with us today. And if you're new here, please do me a favor. Hit that follow button whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. And I appreciate all of you so much. I really, truly do. On today's episode, I have the incredible fortune of speaking to one of my favorite actors of all time. And believe me when I tell you this, I say this with zero exaggeration whatsoever, because the amazing Josh Stewart from Criminal Minds, The Dark Knight Rises, and the Collector movies, Law Abiding Citizen, and so many more films and television series is my guest right here on Real Appreciation with David Clair-Bennett. And we talk about things like working with Christopher Nolan, how he got the role of a lifetime in The Dark Knight Rises, what it's like to act alongside Tom Hardy, and yes, I have the first exclusive statements from Josh on the upcoming Collector sequel. Man, this is crazy, because 2 weeks ago, I helped break the news of the third Collector movie with Marcus Dunstan, the creator, writer, and director of those films. And now this? By the way, shout out to bloodydisgusting.com for giving us some credit for that exclusive. Hoping to see the podcast get some love again soon from those amazing people. Listen guys, Josh and I spoke about some pretty important things outside of film and cinema, and that is the importance of your mental health. And if you know me, if you've been listening to this show, this podcast, you know how important mental health is to me. As somebody who tried to take their life just a few months ago, and we even talk about this, listen, when I tell you things get pretty deep, things get really deep in this episode with Josh. And hey, the importance of your mental health is so very important, so I just want to say to everyone out there before we jump into this new episode, your mental health absolutely fucking matters. Forgive me for my language. But do not ever let anybody tell you otherwise about that. You fucking matter. Do you understand that? I sound so mean. I'm not trying to sound mean at all. But you do matter. I'm serious. You really do. You are my friend. Yes, you are my friend listening to this. You're my friend. Even if we've never met, I am friendly with all. Even if you hate my fucking guts and want to slaughter me, I consider you my ally. Because there's no place for hate in my heart, in my world, in my soul. I'm sending love to each and every one of you out there. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, doing his first interview in over half a decade, the incredible, the amazing Josh Stewart. Welcome to the Real Appreciation Podcast. I am David Clair-Bennett, and I am beyond thrilled to be joined by an actor, writer, and director who has brought some of the most intense and unforgettable characters to life, from the Collector movies to Interstellar to Criminal Minds to Insidious. Please join me in welcoming to the show the incredibly talented Josh Stewart.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Happy to be here with you, man.
Thank you so much for gifting me your time to sit down and chat with you today. When I say it is an honor, man, I mean it is truly an honor.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, look, I'm just as happy and honored to be here with you today, man. So thank you very much.
Dude, thank you. And we were talking about Marcus Dunstan and our love for him off camera. We may or may not thank him a million times because he's just such a great person. But let me just start off by saying how great of a person he is for connecting us and what an incredible guy he is. I've told him this personally before. If he ever needs anything at all, I'm just a text or phone call away. And I hope I get to personally and professionally work with the both of you someday in this crazy world of film and cinema.
It's that's look, once you're in Marcus's world, that's very, that's a highly likely scenario.
Speaking of him, you two have created some unforgettable horror moments together. So, what is it about your collaboration that tends to work so well?
Man, I don't really know what it is other than we just hit it off personally straight away. Beyond Marcus's talent, which is undeniable, and his love for the genre, and there's no one that's more knowledgeable about anything and everything horror and just film in general than that guy. But the only thing that surpasses him, that surpasses his passion and his talent, is his heart. I mean, the man is just an incredible human being. Um, he's wide open. There's nothing in the world that he wouldn't do for his best friends, his closest friends, his family, or complete strangers. You know what I mean? There's nothing. There's no area that he would come up short on. So, the collector, when I first met him, it was one of those crazy things where, they had several people, I think, either attached or people that they wanted to play Arkin before I came along. It literally was one of those things, like I auditioned on like a Monday, Tuesday. I had the job on Wednesday. And on Thursday, Friday, I was on a plane to start filming on the following Monday, the next Monday. So it was just, you've got the job, now let's go. And basically locked myself in a hotel room for 2 days in Shreveport, Louisiana, with the script, and got to work. But then, just being with Marcus, um, again, just who he is as a person, and to me, if you're going to spend that amount of time with somebody on set, and you're going to, you know, I'm going to put all of my trust in them creatively and in their vision about what they're going to do. I always say that a director is the actor's eyes. I'm not going to tell you I need another one. I'm not, unless something happens. But to me, it's always like, when they ask me, do I want another take or whatever, I'm like, brother, you're the eyeballs, man. This is for you. So you tell me when you're happy. It's not about me or what I want. So beyond that, I mean, to get to that sort of place where you trust what it is that they're doing, it's who they are as a person. And I think just right away, anybody who's ever met Marcus or been around Marcus, within 0.2 seconds what kind of human being he is. There's no like, I got to figure this out. I got to spend some time to wonder. And it's like, no, you get it straight away. And I just got him. We got each other straight away. I bought into what he was doing, bought into him as a person, bought into what he was doing, and was like, let's just go. And it just worked. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how I came into the Marcus Dunstan world.
Let's talk about the collector some more. Marcus has already given me the go ahead in my last interview with him and announced that a third collector is finally happening. And of course, we know you're going to be back reprising your role as Arkin. How freaking excited are you, Josh, to finally return to the collector's twisted world?
Yeah, man. Look, there's a handful of characters, 2 or 3 characters that I've played in my career that mean the most to me, and Arkin is one of them. For all the reasons of who he is and what the story is, but with Marcus, the whole experience. Um, you know, I think the history of how we made the first one, and then how it fell into this kind of crazy world with the Dimension and what the Weinstein brothers, to Mickey Liddell's company, and for the Collected, and there's just so much story there to tell. And I think we're all excited that finally the book has been reopened, allowing us to climb back into the world. As far as I know, through my conversations. This is all very new and very, the start of it all. But look, man, those films are not easy to make, but they are the most rewarding when you're sitting there watching it with a theater full of fans. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
We do what we do because we love it. We can't do what we do based on what other people tell us, or we're subject to all the good and all the bad and everything in between that people have to say. But it really feels great when they dig it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It makes it all worth it, and to be able to do that with your pals, um, it's priceless, man.
Like you said, I know things are still fresh and very new, but what are you hoping to achieve with this next installment of The Collector?
Um, I think just look, and it's not even what I'm hoping that will come. I know what's going to come from it. I know that Marcus is going to stay true, and he's going to find some interesting and insane way to keep the story rolling. He never fails with that. He and Patrick Melton, when they're writing, they never fail in capturing that essence and carrying it from one film to the next. So, I'm just looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to uh, that story growing in all the different ways on all the different branches that we know it can. You know what I mean? In all the ways that we know those two guys can come up with. So I can't wait. I mean, I think, look, personally, from a character standpoint, I'm just looking forward to hitting the collector in the mouth again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think he's got one or two coming.
You got some fish hooks ready, right?
Oh man. Yeah, yeah, he's got. I think he's up on me. So some payback is definitely in store.
We know from some stills online that you guys were previously attempting the film, the Collected, but let's be real, things unfortunately seem to have gone awry, and all these years later, the film never came out, never got completed. Are you allowed to talk to us about what went wrong there and what exactly happened?
To be honest with you, we filmed for I don't know, 7 days or 8 days, something like that. We filmed. I mean, we were filming. Um, and to be honest with you, I don't know precisely what happened behind the scenes. And I think that is, and quite honestly, I don't really care and don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into all the business of it, of what was happening. But I think at the end of it, I really have no idea. Just that, all I know is I was waiting for a pickup one morning and the pickup never happened. And I'm calling in going, my ride isn't here. They were supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. What's up? Should I drive myself? And they're like, it's not happening. And then it ends up in court, what in some capacity. And I've not read one single transcript. I've not read anything about, anything that's happened. I just know it's in the free and clear now. So yeah, I mean, we were filming.
Screw whatever happened, you're gonna make an even better one now, I just know it.
Yeah, look, man, it's kind of like that sports mentality of like, if you're playing football, you have a job and your job has an assignment and you do your assignment, you do your job and you take care of your business and that's all you can do. I can't control everything else. And certainly the film business is one of those things that that was beyond my pay grade. Nobody was sharing with me firsthand what was happening specifically. So anything past that is hearsay. And I'm just like, well, that means nothing to me. I'm not one of those people who speculate and help spread rumors and talk about all the things that this or that. Like, it has nothing to do with me other than I feel like we all got sort of you know, we had this amazing opportunity to go make something cool, and that ultimately ended up not happening. And I'm just sad that that was the case. You know what I mean? There's so much work, whether it's this film or any other film, it's look, it's a miracle that a film ever gets made. I mean, any film at all. The amount of hoops that anybody has to jump through to make happen is nothing short of amazing. So once you get there, it's like you've already won the game on some respect. And now the job is to go out and make something presentable and something great and something that's memorable. Um, so, to be honest with you, I've been a part of a few films that have fallen apart. So it's not shocking to me. You know, look, man, we're all just stoked and it's finally here and it's finally able and people are willing. So what that as an actor who's just participating as an actor, that's all I could ask for.
And that's all we want, man. I'm gonna go ahead and segue into another movie that you were in, known as The Dark Knight Rises. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But you even shared some scenes on screen with Tom Hardy and Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. What was it like working alongside Tom Hardy?
Tom is, he's just, a generational talent. You know what I mean? He's just so good at what he does. You know, you you never know what's going to come out. You never know what's coming. You never know what he's going to bring in the best possible way. I think any artist that can approach something that's got confines in the form of a script and in form of a director wanting a specific thing, the guy's just kind of mastered the ability to take every bit of real estate inside those parameters that he can and just create the things that he comes up with. I mean, if you look at the characters that he's played and the jobs that he's done, I mean, it's nothing short of amazing. And to be on a set like that with him and with all the other actors and with Chris, it's like going to film school. You know what I mean? You just know that when you're a part of something like that, you're a part of something that's going to make a lasting effect on not just theater goers, but cinema in history. You know what I mean? Like you can feel it. And everybody, like I was saying about buying into something or someone or someone's vision, everybody's bought in. And there's an army of people making those movies happen. Um, everybody's committed, to the nth degree. So, there's no time to, play around. Everybody's there and everybody's ready to work. And, you show up and you bring your A game from the jump, you know what I mean? But you just know that you have someone in Chris who you can trust implicitly. And you just go on for the ride, man.
Working with Christopher Nolan is a significant milestone for any actor, given his reputation for being one of the absolute best to do what he does. Take me back to what was going through your head when you learned that you would be working with him.
Well, I got the call first. What I auditioned for was just to play this guy who delivers Bane in the beginning of the movie to the aircraft and put him on the plane, essentially. That was the entire role. So I got the call that I got that job. I was supposed to be in the UK for, I think, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to do the job, and that was it. It was literally the opening sequence. And then I don't know, sometime later before I left, we got a phone call and my manager called me and said, listen, Chris thinks that Bane needs a lieutenant. He needs a right-hand man. And he wants that to be you. He wants you to do it. You got to trust him. He's going to work it in every way he can. It's not currently a character that's scripted throughout, obviously, but he's going to make that. And if you're down, we want you to do it. and it would be run a picture basically. And I was like, well, yeah, well, obviously, of course. Well, yes, yes, absolutely, yes. So, when I first started acting, it was The Thin Red Line, Memento, and Fight Club that sort of like changed the way I looked at film. Growing up in West Virginia, uh, it was John Wayne and Clint Eastwood movies or anything that was played on Turner Classic, the Turner Classic movies. Um, so that sort of, those films sort of shifted the way I saw everything. And so to be able to work with Fincher and then be able to work with Nolan, um, that was just everything. Just the way, he conducts his business. He knows what he wants. He's written the thing, so he knows it inside now. He hires people to do their job, and then he lets you do your job. It only gives you what he needs you to have as far as direction is concerned, um, to do your job. You know what I mean? He hires really well. He knows he's got this amazing ability to see in you or the costume designer or whoever it is, or Wally Pfister, back then, to do what he needs done. But then he lets you have your creative say in that. You know what I mean? He's hired you to do your job, and he wants you to do your job, and he gives you a space to do that. So to me, there's almost like a simplicity about the way he does it in this amazingly complex world that he's creating. And to me, that's, on any film set, uh, that's priceless. The dude comes in ahead of schedule and under budget on everything he makes. So he's incredibly efficient and just incredibly generous and just a good dude.
You once had a recurring role in the popular show Criminal Minds. Talk to me about your experience working with such a star-studded cast like Matthew Gray Gubler, AJ Cook, and so many more talented people.
Man, that show, I did a show before that in New York called Third Watch, which was where I got my start. And Ed Bernero, who created Third Watch, was after Third Watch was canceled, became the showrunner for Criminal Minds when it started. So a lot of us actors who were on Third Watch had guest starred on Criminal Minds early on, like early days. And I was doing a show called Dirt at the time. And they said, hey, come over. We'd like you to, Ed called up and was like, hey, why don't you come and do an episode with us? And of course, I was like, yeah, whatever you want. Ed is just the best dude ever. And it was a lot of the same, producers. The DP came over and was now directing from Third Watch to Criminal Minds. So it was kind of like a bit of a small homecoming, almost like a reunion, so to speak. Right away, I hit it off. I mean, back then it was Mandy Patinkin was still there. It was before Joe had come on the show, and just immediately hit it off with everybody. I mean, that show, the group of actors, I've not been a part of anything, maybe Third Watch. I mean, we all were super tight on Third Watch, but that group of actors, everyone's super cool. Everyone was like a family. Everybody was very welcoming. Everybody was, down, they were down for the plan, man. So it was just easy. So every year it seemed like I was going to do an episode just showing back up. And that feeling of a homecoming, even after Ed was gone, even after some of those people that I knew from Third Watch had moved on, a handful of them are still there that I've literally known longer than anybody in the business, like Stacey Hart, the UPM, and Glenn Kershaw, who's an EP and director of the show. Like Glenn was my, DP on Third Watch. So it's like those were my beginnings. You know what I mean? So it is literally like a family reunion.
As we wind down here, I think it is so important to showcase both gratitude as well as appreciation. And I want to be a bit vulnerable with you here, Josh, personally, right now. And I'm not trying to fanboy you on you or anything like that, but I've got to be real with you, Josh. You are the reason I actually became an actor back in 2010, 2011.
That's crazy to think about, man.
When I was in high school, I was obsessed with The Collector. I think it came out in 2009. I remember being obsessed with the collection. I even pre-ordered The Hunted and The Neighbor, like those kind of movies. I was one of those kind of fans, and I actually told Marcus this on the last one. I had done a high school essay on what do you want to do after you graduate high school, and I had a dream project I wanted to do because I've always been a screenwriter, and that was write a movie or be in a movie with Marcus Dunstan, Patrick Melton, and Josh Stewart. So for me to be in this chair right now, virtually across from you, man, is making the 16-year-old David shed some sentimental tears right now. So Josh, thank you for being an inspiration to me all these years later.
Hey, man, listen, I so appreciate that. It's look, it's hard, when we do what we do, we kind of have to do it for ourselves in not in a selfish way, but in ourselves for ourselves. Like you get together with a group of people and you're collaborating on something, right? And you're making a piece of art. We have to do that outside of what we think the perception is going to be or how people are going to react to it or what they're going to take. We hope it's going to be good. But if we put all our eggs in that basket and that's all we're just trying to please, I don't believe that we're going to make art that's worth anything. And if we're listening to all the good that people are saying about us, we have to believe all the bad that people are saying about us as well. So to go and do that, and then to have people respond to it in a positive light, that's all an artist can hope for. Like if I were a painter and made a picture, you would hope people would like it and dig it, right? This is no different. So to me, that's like the ultimate, that's the ultimate compliment. So thank you very much for that, man. I really appreciate it, because to me, that's the best possible outcome. It's like I was saying, like looking up to, it wasn't really actors that I looked up to before, but watching, Memento and The Thin Red Line was like, wait a second, this is different. There's something about this that's completely off axis and is putting something in me that I can't really explain. And now I've got to go do that. And there's no, I'm a dude from West Virginia, man. I didn't do theater. I didn't, I've never done anything like that
Same
before.
here.
But yeah, right. So, yeah, man.
I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I'm all about gratitude. And every day when I wake up and before I go to bed, I say 3 things I'm grateful for. So I want to reverse that question onto you, Josh, and ask you, what are 3 things that you are grateful for?
Man, number one, God is good. I mean, first and foremost, he's done wonderful things for me, man. So first and foremost to that, man, Jesus has been good to me. Second, my family. It's nothing. All of it is nothing without family. Nothing. What is anything if we can't share it? Anything great can be great, but if we can share that with somebody, then I mean, that's the highlight. You know what I mean? And third, I guess with that comes just being able to do something that for all intents and purposes, people were like, that's nothing you can do. To be able to do something and call work, writing and making movies, making television shows, it's just, I can't believe it. I'm just so grateful and so thankful that, one, for the God-given talent and the courage that instilled in me to go and chase it and just do it. I think so often we live our lives thinking, we've got to fit into this, we've got to fit into that, we've got to do what these sort of social expectations are. But, in reality, I don't owe anybody anything when it comes to that. I need to be a God-fearing person and walk in those principles and be happy doing it and doing what that is leading me to do. And everything else falls by the wayside. And I think it's took me, it took me even after making a jump and moving to New York and chasing that, I'm really just now starting to really appreciate it and really starting to feel it and starting to live that. You know what I mean?
That was my favorite answer of the entire show. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Now, where can people find you online?
Oh man, I'm not too good with all that stuff, but the Instagram, I guess, is probably the best way to keep up, or Twitter with what or it's not even Twitter. See, there you go. X.
We call it Twitter here.
Yeah, it's still Twitter, man. I mean, what is this? Come on. That's the best way to see what's coming. I've got some writing coming out that's not in the film world, so stay tuned for that. That's coming. The short stories and some novels are on the way.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
already in the can, man.
I will find your socials and I will list them in the description below for anyone who wants to follow Josh Stewart online. Dude, this has been wonderful, man. And I'm telling you, I've had such a rough year. I told you it was 5 months or so recovering from an attempt at ending it all. And it's crazy how now we're here growing this podcast together. And let me just say that you agreeing to do this was definitely a highlight of the year for me. And on such a personal level, I say thank you again.
Hey, brother, I appreciate it, man. And everything, it's one day at a time. And, and I think you're doing, obviously, you're doing pretty well, man. So
I'm trying.
One day at a time, and being grateful. That's all we can do, man. That's all we can do. And thank you for having the courage to share what it is that you've lived through, so others can see and benefit from that. There is such a stigma attached to, I think, mental health in so many areas, and look, anxiety is something that I've dealt with for a while, and it's good to see that is changing, and guys who are making the ultimate sort of courageous steps and talking about the things that like you're doing makes it easier for people like me to be like, okay, this is not such a crazy thing that I'm feeling and talking about. You know what I mean? This is not it doesn't make me any less of who I am by having this conversation. So for that, I say thank you to people like you, man, because look, if I can, open the world of acting to you, you can open up a world to me that's way more important than a movie. You know what I mean? That's way more important than a television show. So to me, there's nothing more courageous and nothing more inspiring than people like you, brother.
Brother, I appreciate that so much. If I could put that on a wall and remember it for the rest of my life, I will.
You just have to watch this video, man, and you can. Yeah.
Well, I am David Clair-Bennett. This has been Real Appreciation. He is Josh Stewart. I speak for everyone when I say how excited we are to see you kick the collector's ass again. Please follow Josh on the socials listed in the description. He's absolutely worthy of the follow, and you're worthy of reminding yourself that you matter and deserve to be happy. This is a safe spot here. Like Josh said, this is such a safe spot. Protect your mental health because you absolutely matter. We'll be back next Friday with a brand new episode, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single one of our videos. Thank you again, Josh. I'm David Clair-Bennett. You are Josh Stewart, and we are out.
Thank you, brother. Go easy, man.
What a great dude Josh is, am I right? I cannot express how much of an honor it truly was to be in the presence of such a kind and genuine soul. I hope you guys enjoyed our episode, and hey, if you did, please consider giving us 5 stars on the podcast platform that you're listening to the show on right now. please, and thank you so very much. It really does help us grow. It helps the podcast grow. And hey, if you're on our YouTube channel, just type in David Clair-Bennett on YouTube. You'll find the Real Appreciation Podcast. Subscribe, please. I mean, we are just 4 weeks into this show or so, and already 300,000 plus viewers total, and over 2.7 thousand subscribers. Man, I'm so grateful, very grateful and appreciative of you guys for supporting a kid with a dream, even though I'm 28, but whatever, 29. Anyways, I'm old. I'm kidding, I'm not old. But I am on Twitter at David Clair-B. Forgive my side quest, I have terrible ADD. I am on Twitter at David Clair-B. Josh is on Instagram and Twitter at Josh Stewart, but that's spelled different with a catch here. That is J0SHSTEWART. Again, it's the same handle on both platforms. And please go ahead and snap a screenshot and tag us both and let us know that you're listening. Hey, before we get out of here, I will leave you with a gratitude quote by Henry J.M. Nolan. And it reads, "Gratitude goes beyond the mine and thine and claims the truth that all of life is a pure gift." Life really is a gift, my friends, and I hope one day we can live in a society where more and more people are understanding of that. All right, guys, I am going to get on out of here. Again, please follow Real Appreciation on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, hey, wherever it is you're listening to this podcast on. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, just type in David Clair-Bennett. You'll find me there. We post the video versions of every interview we do on this show right there. So yeah, give us a subscription if you will, if you consider yourself to be a fan of this show and what we do every single Friday, because that truly helps the channel grow, truly helps the podcast grow. And speaking of Friday, I will see you next Friday right here on a brand new episode of Real Appreciation. And here's an exclusive for you. The guest I have next week is, well, I hope you aren't scared of clowns named Art. See you next Friday, right here on Real Appreciation.